Hello! So for anyone that actually cares, we are back today with the S2000 after about a year. It was ceramic coated a year ago and fully did the paint correction and all that fun stuff. So today we're going to be looking at doing a maintenance wash, cleaning the wheels up, conditioning the interior, recoating the windscreen and all that stuff with our ceramic coating, as well as doing a few touch-up points on cones that were hit, because although there is a lot of people that say their car is an Instagram race car, this one actually did get campaigned pretty often at local autocross. It did hit a lot of things, so we'll see how well the coating actually held up. Alright, so now that the car is pre-soaked and we got our soap on, it's gonna get ready to go. I recently switched to Nanolex for ceramic coating. They sent me a bunch of free products. Thanks Nanolex Canada. We're gonna be giving our wheel cleaner and iron remover from them a shot, and if I like it, I'll switch over from CarPro completely. When using this type of stuff, it is pretty nasty to breathe in. Make sure you're wearing 2 layers of gloves and a respirator. I'm just gonna let it sit on this wheel, and then I'm gonna do the rest of them, pull out my wheel brush and agitate it. So right away I noticed that there is a difference between this stuff and the Iron X. The stuff doesn't really turn the same color as it does if you're using Iron X, and it seems like it's much less difficult to breathe in. There's a lot less odor even when I don't use a respirator. I'm still going to use it just in case, but so far I'm liking the product a lot. Now that the majority of the stuff is off, I'm going to be going in with a brush to get everything that the pressure washer and the initial blast didn't get. So because this is for one of our healthcare heroes, I'm going to be doing a bit extra. Nanolex also sent over this SI Splash. This is a product quite similar to Sonax Spray and Seal, but with silicate added. I'm going to be applying it to the wheels, and it should make a relatively good barrier against any brake dust or road grime. Usage of it is pretty simple, similar to the Spray and Seal. You just spray it, and then you would rinse it off, and then buff it to make sure that you get everything. So now that we're all done with the wheels, it's time to get started with the paint. Something that a lot of amateur detailers will tell people is that ceramic coating is going to last X amount of years. Not exactly true. Depends on how the car gets used, what type of storage conditions it's in, and what type of weather it's driven in, what type of environment you live in, do you have acid rain or not, and how do you wash the car. So this one is going to be pretty good. I noticed that the paint was the water was still beating off the paint when I gave it the initial rinse, meaning that the coating's still active. So all we're going to need to do is give it a top and remove any of the cone marks that are there. So to work on the glass, I'm going to be using a razor and some lubrication. Pretty normal stuff, but if you're going to do this, make sure that you have plenty of lubrication. I'm using my soap mitt, and I'm just going to be making downward motions just to clean off everything that we can. Now that the windshield's been completely razored, what I'm going to be doing is using some clay on it. It's going to be much of the same, just using my paint, my wash mitt to squeeze out some soap, and going to be using the clay and removing as much of the contamination as possible. Now that the car is all finished with the glass decontamination, I'm going to be giving it another rinse just to get all the soap and everything off and any contaminants that may be stuck in the soap that's on the paint now. And then I'm going to dry it off using my vacuum, because now they have awesome blower ports and I could drive the car super fast. And as you can see, the coating's still pretty active here, so it's going to make drying it a breeze. Here I was removing some cone marks that the owner put into the car from autocrossing, and this was done just by using my fallout remover meant for adhesives and such. I'm using CarPro Tricks here, but you can very easily do the same thing with Goo Gone or something similar like that. You simply just spray it onto the surface, let it dwell for 30 seconds to a minute, and then just wipe it away with a microfiber. On a coated surface like this, it did come out relatively easily. In the last video, it took me a very long time to remove any of these cone marks because they were basically stuck in the paint. Here I'm working with Nanolex SI Splash to add another layer of protection to the paint. It's been about a year, the hydrophobic properties are starting to fade a little bit, so we want to top it with whatever we can. At the time I didn't have any more of the product that I would normally use for this, called SI Finish, which is a SiO2 infused product specifically designed to top up ceramic coatings, so this will have to do in the meantime. Then what I did afterwards is I further followed up with this product called Nanolex Final Finish. This is a spray wax that adds an insane amount of shine to the paint and it really makes it pop. Here I also applied another coating of glass sealant to the windows, the windshield, all of the lenses, so the taillights and the headlights, and the side mirrors. I did notice that the coating on the windshield and the front lights wore off quite quickly, but that's also just because as the car gets driven, there's natural abrasion that takes place, and it's going to wear down any coatings you have there faster than the ones on the sides of the car or even on the back. For the interior, I used ammo lather here to fully clean the door cards, the dash, and the seats. You can see me agitating it with my brush, and then I coated it with a nice little layer of ammo mousse just to bring back the color and rehydrate the leather. Came out really nice as seen in this 50-50 shot of the dash, the left side being completed and the right side being uncompleted. I am back and the camera has changed, my other one has run out of batteries, but we're all done with the S2000. So we did the glass again, we did the interior, it's all been cleaned and conditioned again. We also had polished up the exhaust tips and we took off the plate to clean behind there. Without further ado, I'm going to be driving it back to the owner and hopefully they'll have a smile on their face.